We're coming to you live from Nasrec. This is where, of course, the venue is set and prepared for day 2 of the ANC policy conference taking place. We'll be, of course, giving you some analysis and developments on what's expected from today. Also reflecting on day 1. This is where we also saw some of the top 6 of the ANC coming in to officially open the conference. The likes of ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa, Gwede Mantashe were in. So we'll be giving you some, of course, of those reflections and also some analysis on what to expect. Morning, partner.
Morning. I'm Gareth Edwards, and there's a lot to expect on what is day 2 of this ANC policy conference. All set to get underway at about 9 o'clock this morning. It's when the formal program gets underway. A number of closed sessions all happening at the same time. There'll be then a lunch break at about 2 o'clock, and then there'll be another session later this afternoon. So let's just unpack, if we can, for a moment, what we can expect. Let's go over to eNCA reporter Aviwe Mtila, who's also here at Nasrec for us. Hello to you, Aviwe. So a lot we need to try and get through as well, but perhaps let's just start with what the president had to say, that this is going to be a policy conference of action. It needs to be action, not symbols, is what the president spoke about yesterday. So let's start off with a couple of the things the president spoke about: strengthening economic recovery and the reconstruction to build an inclusive economy. All words we've heard before, Aviwe, isn't it? But the ANC hoping that they can implement the policies that come out of this weekend.
Certainly words that we've heard before, Gareth, and it's seemingly that will be underway with the business of the day. That's discussing the policies of the African National Congress and some of the ideologies that will take the country forward. We're expecting closed sessions throughout the day today. At 9 o'clock, they're breaking into 8 different commissions looking at peace and stability, international relations, culture and heritage, and the crucial one, the economic transformation. Of course, I read some of those policy documents talking to strengthening economic recovery. There they say that the people shall share on the country's wealth, something that seems like a dream at the moment, given that we're living in the most unequal society in the world, something that they are prioritizing. In fact, they say that they have economic policies that they want to prioritize and be achieved by 2035. Looking at issues such as unemployment, Gareth, a crucial one that the president touched on yesterday, given that almost under 40% of adults are unemployed in South Africa, something that they'll be prioritizing, hoping to change by 2035, they say in those documents. Also increasing and doubling the number of small businesses, including farms, crucial issue of land mentioned there. Also increasing issues like household incomes from 30% where it's at the moment to 80% by 2035. Looking at growing key sectors and bringing in investments to areas such as electricity, telecoms, water, rail, and the crucial infrastructure. Some of what President Cyril Ramaphosa touched on yesterday as he delivered his speeches. So let's take a listen to what the president had to say.
We are therefore called upon to complete the fundamental renewal and rebuilding of the African National Congress. We are also called upon, comrades, to end corruption, strengthen the state at all levels, to grow our economy and to create jobs. Here at this conference, we will reflect on the state of unemployment in our country. We will reflect on the state of our economy. But more importantly, we should then come up with what should be done.
And one of the big talking points of Aviwe is no doubt going to be how the ANC is going to handle the issue around sexual attacks, GBV in our country as well. There's always been a lot of talk from within the policy framework of how the ANC is going to handle that. That we know becomes government policy later as well. But the question around GBV, very important, isn't it, Aviwe? Especially off that news we heard yesterday of 67 illegal minors arrested in Krugersdorp, a number of them allegedly involved in the gang rape of a 19-year-old girl. They need to address this issue urgently, don't they?
Heart-shattering news that we woke up to yesterday, Gareth. In fact, it's a thorn on the side of the country in its entirety, gender-based violence. 8 women raped just yesterday, coming into the morning. Even when the president delivered his speech, he had the backdrop of that news. Even Minister Bekitsela, in fact, was in tatters yesterday trying to address that issue as, of course, the eNCA broke those news yesterday. It is heart-shattering, given that even yesterday I was in court with my colleague Slindelo Masikane at the Ntotoka Shoba case, where he was sentenced to life imprisonment, given that he had murdered, orchestrated the murder of his ex-girlfriend who was pregnant. Heinous crime. In fact, gender-based violence at the core of some of the issues that need to be tackled by the governing African National Congress, some of what President Cyril Ramaphosa touched on also in his address yesterday. Let's take a listen to what the President had to say on that.
What we now need to do at this conference, I'd like us to focus a little bit more attention on the rising scourge of gender-based violence and ensure that we debate this matter and find solutions that possibly go beyond what we have initiated. With the wisdom that resides in this conference, it will be good, comrades, if we can come up with other solutions. Gender-based violence continues to rage in our country. During the health pandemic, we characterized it as a second pandemic, but it continues. What I referred to just a minute ago, what happened in Northwest, which Comrade Begi reported to me, is a manifestation of the spread of this scourge of gender-based violence. This conference needs to address itself to that. And this conference needs to come up with ways in which we can continue supporting the ANC Women's League in its task and campaign, but all of us can join in the campaign against gender-based violence and support various other organizations that are seized with this matter.
All right, Aviwe Mtila for the moment, as he continues to bring us updates outside of our studios here at the NASREC Policy Conference.